Hi everybody! So I figured I'd share with you guys my past health history and how I became fully low-fat raw vegan overnight and have never turned back since I went low-fat raw vegan, and how I've changed my ways because um, I know it helps when you find somebody out there who has gone through a similar struggle or pain that you have, and so when you come across someone like that, it's nice to know, like, oh my gosh, it's not just me. Someone else out there has experienced or gone through something so similar that I have, and it's nice to connect with them and know that there's healing and that there's hope, that things can change and that things will change if you take care of yourself. Providing it's in the health arena and everything, and in all aspects of life too, you know? So what I wanted to start off with, because it also kind of leads into some of the other questions that some of you guys have asked me that I'll answer in the next couple videos that I'll post after this. So it kind of, for me, you guys, it all started, I know a lot of people come to a fully raw vegan lifestyle to lose weight, and for me that was not the case. I came to a low-fat raw vegan lifestyle to heal my body from physical injuries. I was literally at the end of my rope and it was very painful, and that is actually what I needed in order to push me to make a change. And so it kind of, for me, you guys, all started in 2005. In the year 2005, I was 16 years old, and that was the year I remember when I actually started getting into running. I wasn't really heavy, but I was starting to exercise a lot more, and of course I was still in high school at the time, but my eating habits changed. So I know growing up, I always grew up on mom's home-cooked meals, you know, meat and potatoes, toast with butter on there or jam, and soda or water on the side, you know, with a side salad with like blue cheese dressing and stuff like that, and then mom's home-cooked soups, and then pasta dishes, oily pasta dishes, what we all think is healthy, right? And you know, and sandwiches and but it was all home cooked though too. And so at first you think, okay, that's gonna be healthy. You have your meat, your vegetables, your grains, and then your fruits throughout, somewhat a little bit throughout the day, you know, and then you have cake and ice cream and then cookies once in a while and stuff like that. That's kind of like a normal way of eating that we all grow up on, you know, and that's kind of how I grew up on it. But we weren't really my family, I wasn't brought up with eating heavy fast food or anything like that. I remember my dad taking us to like McDonald's and Wendy's once in a while, and I remember us going out to eat at different restaurants once in a while, and you know, the pizza, hamburgers, hot dogs and stuff like that, and chips and donuts and all that. But no, I wasn't really heavy into eating all of that, but once in a while I would have it. My mom would buy stuff like that. But when I turned 16 years old in 2005, that's when I kind of quit all that. I quit eating, I started becoming a little bit more health conscious. I quit eating donuts. I used to love Doritos, Fritos, and Cheetos, and donuts and Twinkies, you know, and cupcakes and ice cream and cake, pies, cookies, and of course the pizza, you know, all the junk food. And then of course, you know, chewy bars and those nature made bars and everything like that. And that's still bad too, but my mom, again, she never brought us up on salt either, so she never had a salt shaker in the house. She's always said there's enough salt in the foods that we already eat, so she never brought us up on salt, which I'm so happy for. Thank you so much, Mom. But when I turned 16 in 2005, I quit eating all that really nasty junk, you know, the really bad foods for you, like the soda and like the chips and all that really bad stuff. And I quit eating pizza, I quit eating bacon, I quit eating sausage, I quit eating sausage, hot dogs and stuff like that. I used to eat stuff like that. And I never struggled with a weight problem. I was never really overweight. But now that I look back on my older pictures, I wasn't overweight at all. But now that I could tell I was poofy and I had acne really bad oily skin, and I remember bad body odor and stuff, you know, the standard teenage young kid stuff that everybody thinks is normal, but it's not normal, you know. So when I was 16, I stopped eating all that nasty stuff. But then in 2007, when I turned 18 years old, in May 2007, that was when I graduated from high school. And that's when I really kicked it into gear. And in fall 2007, so that fall 2007 is when I started college up at the university here in Fairbanks, Alaska, UAF. And so I started college and my schedule got super busy. Like, you know, you're in class, you're taking a full load, and then you got all the homework to do, but then you're starting a job, and so your schedule is like busy. And I remember that was actually the year I was really getting heavy into running, and I was up on the hill at the time. I mean, I grew up in this house till I was about, I think, 12 or 13 years old, and then we moved up on the hill where, I mean, the hill, I mean like the hill, where you can see all of Fairbanks. And I have been yet to meaning to take you guys up there and do a lot of videos to show you the view and everything, and kind of my running route that I took and everything, but I still haven't gotten to that yet. And I don't have a video editor yet, which I would love to have. It'll make things a lot easier to get clips and everything. And so I'm trying to get to that, because I really want to show that, because that's part of health, living up here in Alaska, and it's part of health too. It is part of my journey too, just to share with you guys if it helps you anyway. So I know, so yeah, that fall 2007 was when things were kicked into gear. I was getting really strong into the running, and my schedule was so busy because I was told that you have to get a job, you have to go to school, now that you graduated high school and everything, you got to go to college, you got to do this and that. So I'm like, okay, I was just doing what I was told, even, you know, and so I just like, oh my gosh, and I'm one of those people where I do what I'm told. I don't want to get in trouble or anything, but I mean, like, that's what society tells you. You go to college after high school, right? But you got to get a job also. And so I kind of got into a really bad cycle of where I was running. I got into running so much because I loved it. I was feeling so good. My body was actually starting to change. I was starting to lose my poofiness, but I was feeling so good, and I got addicted to running. And I was starting to run like 3-4 miles every day, and I eventually got up to 5 or 6 miles a day. And then I was actually doing 2 runs in one day because I was so addicted to it, and I never gave myself a day's rest. But at the same time, I was going to school and I was working, so I was trying to fit everything in. And then of course, when you're up here in Alaska, that don't help, because every day when winter would come, I would cringe, of course, but I wouldn't miss a run. I would go running outside. It'd be up on the hill, on a hill. I mean, it wasn't flat where I was running. I mean, I was running up hills, down hills, and long distances, and it felt so good, but it was rough and tough, because that's what the Alaska climate is it's rough and tough to begin with, and when you go exercising out in it, it makes it even worse. And I know 40 below, when it got down to 40 below, that was my cutoff, but I still went anyways. And I still remember one day it got down to minus 45. It was heading down to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and I still went. I was like, no, I'm not getting stuck inside, I'm going. And so I still went, and I remember the ice fog was so thick in town, and it was clear, but the sun was going down, and it was around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so it was getting pitch black in the afternoon, and I still went. And I remember by about halfway down, I could not feel my feet, I could not feel and it scared the heck out of me, and I turned around and I ran back home, and I always prepare. I always wore like armor, very good armor type clothing, running clothing, insulated clothing that could withstand very cold temperatures. I mean, I was all decked out, wrapped in scarves, double hats, double gloves, had my phone tucked in my hands, and so the phone would actually work, so if there was an emergency I could call mom and dad. But otherwise, if it was in my pocket, it would freeze and it would shut off. It wouldn't even work. So I had to keep it in my hands and my gloves so it would stay warm. And so I always had double pants and everything, and running in that was horrid. But I loved running, and that's how really extreme I kind of took it. And I never really gave myself a rest day, which was really bad. And then at the same time, I really wasn't eating. My eating kind of really cut back, and since I was eating healthier, I was eating a lot more whole grains, like whole wheat bread, a lot of whole wheat bread, a lot of whole wheat grain cereals, because society started stressing grains. You got to get your grains in and everything, and then protein from eggs, egg whites and stuff. And so I was eating a lot of egg whites and a lot of whole wheat bread, and then those nature grain bars and stuff like that, and then fruits and vegetables, but not very much. But my schedule was so darn busy that I got to a point where, like, I don't even have time to eat. I got to get to class. I got to go do homework. Oh my gosh. And so I eventually kind of just stopped eating, really. I mean, I was eating, but I wasn't eating a whole lot to sustain my active lifestyle, and I wasn't eating enough to sustain the environment I was in, because the environment I'm in, which I'm still in Alaska, but I mean, to begin with, when you're in Alaska, your food intake, even if you're not exercising, increases because it's cold. So your body's constantly shivering, trying to stay warm. It's burning energy all day long, just trying to stay warm, depending on how often you're outside and everything. And so when you add activity on top of that, and you're doing activity outside, your food intake has to go up, and mine wasn't, and I wasn't doing it right, and my health really deteriorated. I started getting a lot of running injuries in my knees, in my legs, because that's where most of the pounding took place, because it was in my knees, because I was running up hills every day, down hills every day, 4 or 5 miles, not giving myself a rest break, and not really eating very much. So it was really, if there's anybody who is a good example of what not to do, that would be me, okay? But at the time, I didn't know. And a lot of people in society and media always stress, you always push yourself, always push yourself. And so that's what I did. But I was determined not to miss a day of running because I felt so good, but my health was deteriorating. And it was over, the years of my college years, which was the next 5 years, from fall 2007 up till May 2013. So May 2013 is when I really hit a roadblock. And I mean, my injuries, I did damage to my interior ligaments. Everything's good now. But I had runner's knee. I remember had tendonitis. My tendons my muscles and everything were so tight, and being again in Alaska where it's super cold, your muscles and tighten up pretty good, and just staying warm, and it's just, guys, that's why I have such a strong opinion about, my opinions about Alaska have changed. I mean, I was born and raised up here in Fairbanks, Alaska. I know what the weather is up here, the extreme cold. And I've been in minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit before, and it's not fun. And every year you can bank your little booty that it's gonna hit minus 40 at least, and possibly minus 50. And that's what happened last year. A lot of you guys saw my last channel was that it hit minus 50, and it hit minus 55 out at North Pole, Alaska, which is just about 13 or 15 miles out of Fairbanks here. And I'd love to take you guys out to North Pole, Alaska too, where it's Christmas every day. They have a Santa Claus house out there, and you can see reindeer year round too, and I'd love to take you guys out there, but that's another video too. So but yeah, so my health was really deteriorating, and it just was a really hard struggle for me. I lost all motivation to do school and to do life, and because I wasn't eating properly, and I was stressed out, and I was overworked, and my body needed attention, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do at the time. It was all I knew. It was all I knew. It was all I was told. And then in August 2013 is when God brought me so close to him. I got so close to him and so spiritual to him that I gave my life over to God, over to Jesus. I became a believer. I got baptized, and God led me to this low-fat, raw vegan lifestyle. In August 2013, that's when I went fully raw, because that's where I found out how to heal the body as quick as possible, is to go on a fully raw diet. And then I looked that up on the internet, because I found it on an article, because I was desperately searching for just like, is there any possible way to heal the body as quickly as possible? And I found an article, like, if you wanted to avoid gaining weight, being sidelined while you have an injury, the best way to go about it is to, of course, eat fruits and vegetables, but go fully raw, because that's where you'll get most of the nutrition and your body soaks it all up. And I was like, what? And then I looked up fully raw or a raw vegan, and I found Freely the Banana Girl on YouTube. I found all these other fully raw YouTubers, and I found the answer, and I went fully raw overnight in August 2013, and I never looked back, because I was done. I could not walk. I couldn't walk. God literally strapped me down to a chair, and I was so scared. I was so scared. I thought I was going to be on crutches, or at least in a wheelchair or something, and all these thoughts were flooding to my mind, like, I need to take care of myself. This is obviously wrong. This is not right. And so I knew what society was telling me was wrong. And so when I found this lifestyle, I was like, this is the answer. And then God brought me closer to the Bible, and then I found Genesis chapter 1 verse 29, where he told us he's given us every green plant and every fruit with seed in it on the face of this planet. It shall be ours for food. And right there, it sold me. It sold me. I knew it. And I went raw vegan overnight. I never looked back ever since then. And I have been healing every single day. My body has healed tremendously fast. And yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I mean, as you're trying to do life, you know, while you're healing, it's kind of hard. I mean, I still was working and trying to get through everything. I mean, I was already done with school, thank goodness. School life is out of my life. I'm never going back to school. That is done. Hallelujah. And because that just wrecked me. That wrecked me. I've had some really bad school experiences, and I'm glad that part of my life is over. And ever since August 2013, I have changed my life around, and now I don't exercise like a mad woman anymore, and I have a strong different opinions about exercising. I want to do an exercising video also for my channel for you guys if you're interested and stuff, but I have strong different opinions now about how we live our everyday lives, what we should be doing, and just living life in general. And that's why I wish so much that everybody would go fully raw, because it would really help you. It would avoid a lot of problems, because I look back on my problems, I'm like, that was a 10-year span, 10 years of my life. I have gone in a complete merry-go-round circle and going crazy and just trying to figure out what's right and what's balanced and everything, and it was all wrong. 10 years of my young life. And I just look at that, I'm like, that's why I wish the world was fully raw from the very beginning, but it's not that way. And that's what also led me to start this YouTube channel, because I have healed myself, and I have come to realize a lot of things, and I want to share it, and if it helps anybody in any way. And so yeah, you guys, that's how that's my health history, and that's how I became fully raw. Now I eat, since August 2013, I've been eating only raw, fresh, whole ripe raw fresh fruits and vegetables, some nuts and seeds, and that's my whole complete diet. And my lifestyle is, I don't do heavy exercising. It's just light walking when I feel like it. And my body acne went away, skin cleared up, it's not oily anymore, no body odor, everything's nice and squeaky clean and smells squeaky clean, and it's amazing. And that's why I am so excited about doing this channel, or having a health channel, and doing these videos. So okay guys, so I will stop there, guys. I know this has been a long video, but that is my, if you made it this far, thank you guys for tuning in this long and listening to me babble. But I know it's good to hear other people's experiences and what they've came from and what they've dealt with, because we all can learn, we all learn from each other's experiences too. So that's mine, you guys, and that's how it was for me up here in Alaska. And it is harsh up here, and it takes a hard toll on your body, most definitely. And that's why I have a different opinion about Alaska and this in cold environments. And yeah, so I'll stop babbling there, guys. Okay, so remember to love being raw. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Okay, bye guys.